Alrighty, moving forward here, going into the end of February. We have our Thursday's highs, Friday's highs, Thursday's lows, Friday's lows. We're starting with Sunday here on the higher time frame, draws of potential liquidity. We have this daily sell side, this sell side, as well as this sell side. But these two swing lows would be my first points to look for as a draw. In terms of buy side, we do have this buy side here. Of course, that buy side. In the general context, if we look at where we are in terms of a premium or discount, if we look at this entire move from the beginning of the year, interesting to notice that 50%, we're still in the premium of this entire yearly move up, and 50% of this range would have us taking this daily sell side, and the 61.8% would have us taking this daily sell side. So it's possible we could be moving down into those. Of course, we also have this imbalance here. Anyhow, let's continue with the day here. I'll take this draw. So we are in a premium on the higher time frame here. We've been taking previous day's lows. Okay. Gonna mark out our midnight price here. It looks like FX Replay does not have data on the weekly open. We just have this gap up here from Friday to Sunday. So, I mean, the weekly open is in all likelihood probably somewhere in here. Let's see, we have Sunday. Yeah, most recent data we have is Sunday at 11 o'clock. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark the bottom of this gap as our weekly open, utilizing our weekly profiles here. Anyhow, let's move forward. Within the context of this PD array, we are in a discount of this PD array. Could begin moving a bit higher. Going into 2 a.m. So we're in this 4-hour SIBI. Curious to see how we react. Going into 4 a.m. Going into 6 a.m. here. Part of me wants to sell this, anticipating this C is becoming inverse. Had a break in market structure here. We've moved into a higher time frame. SIBI, but at the same time we could just continue to go higher and take these highs here. I mean, these are relative equal highs here, so I'm not going to sell that. Going into 730. I'm definitely glad I did not sell that. Going into 8, the news for the day, we have durable goods, non-defense capital goods. Going into 9 a.m. now. Bodies are respecting this 50% of this 4-hour SIBI. So it's very possible that we could see a move lower here. Something else that I am noticing is we have this trendline liquidity here on the 15-minute. So this entire move up could be a Judas, but at the same time we're in a discount of this downwards move. So we could just end up moving higher up into this SIBI up here. Before moving lower. Going into 945. Going into 10 a.m. Going into 1130. Noticing how we've moved into a premium of this 15-minute displacement leg. So what I'm anticipating is for price to move lower now as we enter 12. Going into 1230, still consolidating. These relative equal lows here in the 15-minute. Going into 1. Take that buy side. This could be a turtle soup sell potentially, taking this buy side liquidity and then moving lower to take these sell side lows. Okay, actually no, it looks like we may be reaching for this initial 4-hour SIBI. We do here, let's see, this is 130. Moving into a premium here. Going into 2. Going into 230. Going into 3 here. This is ICT Classic buy day. Accumulation, manipulation, we have distribution higher. Going Going into power hour, last hour of trading here. Going into 345. We have our market close. Okay, so we have an ICT Classic buy day, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And this here reminds me of a 22 mentorship model. We take it as sell side, displacement lower, change in the state of delivery. We could move back into this SIBI and then continue to move lower. I mean, relative equal lows here, relative equal lows here. We're in a premium of this bearish displacement leg. And the accumulation for a bearish week would always happen above the weekly open if we were to have a bearish week attacking this sell side down here. Yeah. Anyhow. I never started my timer. What are we at now? Alright, we have 50 minutes left. Okay. So there's our low. Have our high of the day made at 3. Monday high. Monday low. I'm going to take off Thursday's high now. It's easy to see that that's just sell side liquidity, or buy side liquidity, excuse me. Going to market close. I mean, this looks like a classic 22 mentorship sell model, selling right here. I mark the displacement. Move into a premium, 50%. We move lower. Anticipation would be a move lower now into this sell side. Okay, one move higher, stop around turtle soup. Probably see a move lower now. Move ahead here into midnight price. Noticing the fractal nature of price here, right? We have this displacement leg here. Move into a premium, sell off. We also have this fractal leg. Displacement, change in the state of delivery right here. Moving into a premium. My expectation would be then to sell off. Going into midnight. We're respecting these higher time frame bearish PD rays. Okay, we didn't see that sell off like I expected, moving to a higher premium of this displacement leg. Going into 3. Going into 4, there it is. Going into 5. Starting to suspect that this 130 candle is the high of the day. In fact, I'm actually going to mark that out just so I can get a sense of that. High of day, question mark. Curious if this is going to be our high of the day. Really, really beautiful to see the fractal nature of price, though. You know, displacement, move back to a premium, sell off. Displacement, move into a premium, sell off. Okay, going into 7 a.m. here. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to think this is most definitely the high of the day. 7 a.m. Have this sell side down here that I'm aware of. Have this bullish order block here. Take out that weekly open. So thinking of this in terms of the weekly open candle. This could all just be the accumulation phase of the weekly candle before we move lower to take this sell side. Going into 7 a.m. Going into 8 a.m. Curious to see what 8:30 brings. Part of me really wants to sell this. Only reason, I don't know, I want to sell this because just with the premise that this is the high of the day, and I want to get better at capturing the daily range. I have this sell side here in this trendline liquidity. But at the same time, we may have just found resistance at this bearish order block. Excuse me, bullish order block, but we've also moved to a premium within this displacement leg downwards, so my bias is going to be bearish. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sell this into a 1 hour SIBI here. Stop. It's going to be below this high here. Take profit. It's going to be below these relative equal lows. That's what I'm going to aim for. Low hanging fruit. So, okay. In a premium of bearish displacement 4 hour leg, expecting high of day to be at 1:30 a.m. Looking for lower prices, targeting low hanging fruit. Okay, so we're now in the trade. Going into 9:30. Going into 10:45. Okay, so we're stopped out here. stopped out, still looking for lower prices. It's very possible that we're simply moving into a premium of this displacement leg before going lower. But we shall see. I'm looking for lower prices here. Alright, well, that's clearly not the high of the day. I may have had an incorrect read. Looks like we did find support of this bearish order block. I'm just going to take off these civvies. Okay, so excuse me, this bullish order block we did find support at. Going into noon now. Starting to see that sell side delivery. More sell side delivery going into 2. Going into 245. I'm going to sell this again. Stop above this bearish order block. It is sort of late in the day for this to expect this level of expansion. We had a massive stop run below here. But we just moved above midnight price here. Maybe I'm marrying myself to the idea of lower prices for the day, but expecting lower prices, buying in a premium of lunch bearish displacement leg. See some initial reaction. Pretty volatile. We are seeing movement away from this bearish PD array, which I do like to see. Currently up 37 handles. Currently at 1R, so I'm going to move my stop to break even, which is also within this 15-minute SIBI. The price is already balanced. I'm just moving it to break even just to protect myself. Going into 345. Going into market close. Okay. So, I mean, 24 handles. We're going to have to close this out. But 23 handles up. I'm okay with that. Happy to recognize that price would respect this bearish order block, as you can see. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful delivery there. If I was even more proficient, what I could have done is I could have put a sell order here, this bearish order block, but that's completely okay. Because our drawn liquidity was accurate, and that's really what I care about. Trade recap. Our drawn liquidity was accurate. Target was not met. But we predicted bearish PD arrays to hold accurately. I'm in the business here of learning how to predict price, and that's what we did. Pretty choppy though. I mean, obviously, most of the move took place from 8 a.m. to 12. And the rest of this, I mean, looking at these doji candles, it's just back and forth, back and forth. We'll take our daily highs and lows here. Also, something I should start implementing is having lower take profits, just at internal range liquidity. Like putting my take profit below this swing low when I'm trading at 2:45 p.m. It's very unlikely. You know, the low of the day has likely already been made. The low and the high of the day have already been made. So more optimally, you know, if I moved into a 5-minute chart and put my take profit at most likely a 5-minute bullish order block, I would have captured more of that move. I mean, that would have been a more of a 60 or 70 handle trade as opposed to 20. But green is green, and our drawn liquidity is accurate, and that's more what I'm interested in. Something I am noticing is let's see, what's this, Wednesday? This was Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday low, Tuesday high. Something I'm noticing is this Tuesday was an inside. It was an inside day relative to Monday's range. So we traded within Monday's range, which tells me that price is contracting to make a large move. A little bit hard to say. I haven't found it to be incredibly common to have a Monday high of the week. You know, if we're looking at the weekly open, we're currently above the weekly open, and right now we are consolidating. So in terms of a weekly profile, you know, we have a consolidation. One of the weekly profiles is a consolidation Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday within the real move happening on Thursday. We can also, moving into this next day, could anticipate potentially a Wednesday reversal, which happens with, you know, Monday, Tuesday consolidation. And then I would expect a stop raid before moving in the true direction the market wants to go to. So yeah, it's looking at a potential Wednesday reversal weekly profile here. It's possible that we come to take these highs before moving lower, but I would expect a level of I'm expecting expansion moving into this Wednesday because we've had this inside day. Price is contracting, and it contracts only to expand. Going into Tuesday, we do see that Tuesday high being taking these relative equal highs during Asia. Also have this buy side over here, buy side over here. But in a larger scheme of things, we're still in a premium, so it's hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell where price is going to move. But just with the context of the weekly profile, I'm looking at a Wednesday reversal, which always involves a stop hunt before the actual move. So with us taking this high, I think it's quite possible that we would begin to now reverse to the downside, moving in this Wednesday. So looking at a potential bearish Wednesday here, starting to close in this fair value gap, which to me is a sign of it's a sign of reversal. I mean, it's just a lot of movement for the Asian session. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen 100 handles move in the Asian session. We are starting to see that we've taken Tuesday's low now. Really interesting to see price make all these moves prior to London. Approaching that weekly open as well. Tap that weekly open. Going into midnight now. This is a large movement to happen within Asia. It's rather large. Move below that weekly open. Taking that sell side. Going into 145. Also had that 4-hour volume imbalance that we found support from. Going to be watching how price interacts with these hourly SIBIs. Going into 4 a.m. So also watching this displacement leg. Currently in a discount of this displacement leg, so I wouldn't sell quite yet. I don't want to sell just yet. And for all I know, this could be a Wednesday reversal to the upside. But that's the lens that I'm looking at this through, is that this is going to be a Wednesday reversal, which always begins with a stop run. We've taken Tuesday's lows, so we've taken previous day's lows, and it seems now to be acting as support. We've moved below that weekly open. Found support of this 4-hour volume imbalance. Going into 6 a.m. What's the news for the day? PMI. Starting to move into a premium of this displacement leg, so I'm really watching this. Going into 7:30. Bullish PD arrays continue to be respected, which makes me think that we'll be going higher, going into 845, but we're in a premium of this displacement leg. So it's difficult to tell. Okay, we do find support, this SIBI here, as well as this hourly SIBI. Looking very possible now that that this is the low of the day here. This 1 a.m. is the low of the day. Going into 9:15. Market opens. Okay. I'm going to trade this. I'm going to long this. Targeting these highs here. Put my stop. I'm going to put it just below this rebalancing candle. We have this intermediate term low here, which I don't want to see price come back down into this SIBI. We also found support on this 1 hourly, 1 hour BISI. And again, so I wouldn't want to see price come back into that. Price dip down back into this to find a discount to only go higher. But at the same time, we are in a premium of this displacement leg, but we've also taken a lot of sell side, and we found support from this 4 hour volume imbalance. So this could be a Wednesday reversal to the upside. Wednesday reversal to the upside, we move to a key level, which is below the weekly open. I mean, look at how price respects that weekly open. We also found support from Tuesday's low. Tuesday's low did not act as resistance. Anticipating this 1 a.m. to be our low of the day. So this looks like a reversal Wednesday. I'm going to target low-hanging fruit here. Targeting low-hanging fruit, anticipating Wednesday reversal to the upside. We saw strong reaction to the weekly open and previous day's low, as well as 4 hour volume imbalance. Okay, so we're now in the trade. Gonna take this Fibonacci off. Going into 10:30. Currently have 20 handles. Going into 11. Going into 11:30. Going into 12. Always really interesting to note what price does at 12 p.m. Price can often reverse here, so it's very possible I just get stopped out here with this 12 p.m. But I'm looking for higher prices. Okay. So we're stopped out. What I maybe should have done is move my stop up as we approach 12, just because 12 I've noticed is so prone to inducing reversals. Stopped out, 12 p.m. reversal. More upside is still possible. Okay, always at 12 p.m. I notice there's a strong reaction that happens. Going into 130. Watching now to see if Tuesday's low acts as resistance. If it does, okay. I'm going to long this again. Going to long this again here. Going long off of 4-hour rejection block, as well as price finding support at Tuesday, let's say previous day's low. Support becomes, resistance becomes support, is my thesis. So yeah, really I'm just longing off of this Tuesday's low acting as support here. This is a rather high take profit. So we have this bearish order block here, which could act as resistance, but I'm looking for higher prices here. And we're stopped out, okay, so 230. That's our silver bullet actually. Interesting. I'm destroying myself with these trades here. Bias was wrong. Come on, journal. Stop that. Going into 3 o'clock here. Wow, see a large movement downwards. Going into 330, I really want to short this. Move above midnight price again, and there we go, market closes. Interesting. Okay, really interesting price action. So this was not the low of the day. Made our high of the day at 11. Tuesday's low did not act as support. So my initial bias going into the day was that we would have a Wednesday reversal day. You know, this Tuesday we had large contraction. We moved into a premium of this displacement like downwards, and we continue to move downwards. We have these swing lows here, daily sell side. These daily swing lows, which Price could be reaching for it. I'm definitely going to be watching that. So that's just something that I need to watch is, okay, so I went long here. And it's like, okay, I made 50 handles on the trade. But I didn't see the larger picture. I did not see the larger picture, which was this. Stop hunt, moves to premium, moves lower. Looking at this from the weekly candles perspective. So now we're below the weekly open. Below the weekly open, we've had this Wednesday expansion downwards. Looks like price might be looking for this sell side now. But I mean, look at all this buy side here. I mean, this is some massive trendline liquidity on the 4-hour. Just going to take this off. It's a lot of noise here. Going to move ahead on to midnight. Seeing some downwards movement. Price could be reaching for this daily sell side. Considering the weekly profile, don't have any more news for the week. We have PMI on Friday. I'd consider a Thursday reversal, but that typically only happens on rate announcements. Move ahead to midnight here. Yeah, it looks like we're definitely reaching for this sell side here. Going into midnight. $12:45, 1:30, 2 a.m. Tap midnight price at 1:30. Looks like we're definitely reaching for this daily sell side here. We do take that sell side though, but we have this longer, higher time frame sell side, which we take now. With price taking that, it's very possible that we could begin to reverse now. I'm watching this 15-minute SIBI here. I'm really tempted to buy this. I'm really tempted to buy this. targeting this. I'm going to buy this with the expectation that we've made the low of the day here. So now I'm anticipating a Thursday reversal. It often happens on the week of FOMC, but this just looks too primed. I mean, we've taken this higher time frame sell side. Still, we still have this sell side and this sell side, but we've left all of this buy side in the wake. I mean, these are all relative equal highs up here. But I'm going to long this here. Anticipating reversal. We've taken daily sell side liquidity. I believe this is low of the day. Also, you know, just the time at which this happened, right? Taking this sell side liquidity at 3 a.m., right? 3 a.m. is I'm always looking to see what price does at 3 a.m. because it's often very telling. And I've noticed a lot that price will make a low of the day at 3 a.m. So going into 4:30, I want this bullish order block to hold here. One handle from getting stopped out. Going into 6. Tap midnight price here. I'm still looking for higher prices. You know, again, I think that this is the low of the day here. Going into 7 a.m. Going into 8 a.m. One tick from being stopped out. Going into 9:15. Okay, so I was one tick from being stopped out. Turtle soup buy here. Looking for a Thursday reversal here. I want to see a reversal to the upside. Going into 10:15. Price is respecting bullish PD arrays. Damn, I was actually one tick from being stopped out. Going into 11:30. And this is a seek and destroy, no doubt about it. Going into 12. I'm targeting this high here. Going into 1. 115, 130. Okay, so we're currently up 80 handles. What I'm going to do here is move, if I was trading a live account, I would often just, close my trade as it, came up into here. But I want to get better for holding for my full position. I'm going to put my stop below this bullish order block here. So it means no matter what, it'll be a 25 handle trade, but I want to hold for this full target. Alright, so it's a 100 handle trade. I was one handle away from getting stopped out, but this was a rejection block. And these wicks respected the mean threshold of this wick. Look how close I was. That's crazy. Precision. Okay, well that's really excellent. I'm really happy to have to predict where the draw on liquidity is always feels really good. This was a really excellent turtle soup buy as well as 830. Okay, so I'm really pleased with that. Trade recap. Our bias was accurate. Almost stopped out by one tick, but I believe I've called the low of day. Now the question is, where will price reach to in this last couple hours of trading? Anyhow, we've already captured 100 handles on the day, so that's really excellent. Obviously not going to make any more trades, but looking to where price could reach for. I mean, we're in this 4-hour SIBI. We're also above the weekly open here. We could continue to move higher into this imbalance. Going into 2. We are gravitating towards this 4-hour imbalance. Going into 3. Okay, we have moved into that imbalance. Really interesting thing to think about is if I had kept a partial on or just took 50% off at this swing high. I mean, could have captured an additional 80 handles, but that's okay. The important thing here is that I called what the day would do, and actually I called the let's see, low of the day. Yeah, so I called the low of the day here, and that I'm happy with. To call the low of the day shows an understanding of the daily profile and the weekly profile. And marking out that daily sell side liquidity, I mean, boom, we saw strong reaction from there. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm really pleased with this day so far. Going into 345, this is most likely the high of the day. Okay, there we go. Boom, what an excellent day. 3 a.m., low of the day, look at that. Beautiful, ICT Classic buy day. Beautiful, we took our partials off at low-hanging fruit. Again, I could have kept partials on to take more off here, and then more off at this imbalance up here, but there's a certain point when being content with enough is really important, and so I'm content with 100 handles. I mean, 100 handles on a mini contract is a lot of people's weekly paychecks over. It's like 4 weekly paychecks for a lot of people. And that was made in just a day, so I think keeping things in context is really important. That's really excellent. Really, really excellent. Thursday reversal to the upside. We called it. We called the low of the day. Really happy about that. Moving forward, I'm going to bring ahead this weekly open candle here. I'll take off some of this noise here. So in the context of the weekly candle, really interesting to see what Friday will bring. Because we do have, all this buy side. We've taken that sell side again over here. Taken this, this sell side. Look at all that. Look at all this buy side on the 4 hour. Here, here, here. But you can never quite anticipate what Friday would bring. But just in the general higher time frame analysis of things, I think we're going higher now. Just a matter of when. Obviously, time is always. That's when things happen is important. Like, for example, knowing that 3 a.m. is often produces the low of the day. That helped me secure 100 handles. So I think time is really important. Okay, so there's our hourly timer. We are going to play out this Friday, though. Looking at all this buy side, there's a lot of, like, whenever I see trendline liquidity like this, whenever I see it, and especially in a higher time frame, things like this, it's, I've seen it too many times to where price will make this trend line to induce sellers to put stop orders, in this vicinity, and then price will just continue to go higher. So an area of interest that I would have to begin with for this Friday would be here. Area of interest. I'm going to take that trendline liquidity off, but just seeing this trendline liquidity, this is engineered. This is engineered by the algorithm. This trendline liquidity is here for a reason, and it's to induce sellers only to wipe them out and take their liquidity, to then pair those with buy orders. So I'm anticipating an expansion on this Friday to the upside into this area of interest. But we're going to move ahead here to midnight price. News for the day, we have PMI. Looking for upside expansion on this Friday. Going into 2. Going into 3. I'm always watching what the 3 a.m. candle does. We can also make the low of the day here at 2. And low of the day often happens between 2 and 5 a.m. So I have that in mind here. This makes, so far with the way that the day is playing out, I'm thinking of it. It's possible that this is a low of the day here. But a lot of this is going to depend on how we move relative to this 4-hour candle. So we need to get to 6 a.m. to see how this 4-hour candle closes. That's going to be really important for our overall context. So I really want to see how price is at 6 a.m. Going into 5 a.m., we're taking previous day's highs. Moving into 6. Okay. We have closed this in. I'm almost certain now that we will go higher. I believe we're going to this point here. We will go here. These are my points of interest. Wednesday's high. And ultimately, this buy side here could even reach as high as here. But, that would be a lot of expansion. Using standard deviation theory, we could even drop fib on this manipulation leg downwards to see where price could go to 2.5 standard deviation is typically where rejection is seen. So I mean, it's quite possible that we take these highs, or it's possible that we move into this bearish order blocks wick here and reject. But just with the standard deviation, I mean, I'm looking at this as a manipulation leg downwards and projecting higher, going into 6 a.m. At this point, I'm basically just looking for signs of retracement to buy. I mean, that's all I'm really looking for. $7.15 hits. I want to buy this. Okay. Going at 8:30. You know what? I'm There's also a breaker block here. So I'm a little premature on this buy here, but that's okay. In fact, I'm going to put my stop above this. I want this tagged as a breakaway gap, so I don't want to see price come back into this fair value gap here. We do have these relative equal lows here, which could work against us, but I believe that this is low of the day at 2 a.m. So I'm going to long this, and with this standard deviation from this manipulation leg on the 4-hour, like I could put my take. Well, okay, we're going to keep our take profit where it is, low hanging fruit. Come on now, what's going on here? 4.75. Huh? What's going on? Risk amount 50,000. What? Hello? Position size 1,000. Okay, there we go. I was just bugged. Yeah, 1,000 contracts of E-mini. I mean, that's something that the Meister would do. Okay. I believe that low of day is at 2 a.m. We've seen a 4-hour manipulation leg on the that projects higher prices that align with points of buy-side liquidity, expecting higher prices. Okay, so we're in the trade. Let us see if our verdict is correct here. Going into 845, currently up 50 handles. Going into 915, looks like not OTE. We move lower to go higher. Bada bing, baby. Would you look at that? Excellent. This is really excellent. And just like that, I'm back up to an equity high. With 2 trades, I was able to get back to an equity high. Trade is a success. Our drawn liquidity was accurate. Well done. Well done, Nick. Well done. Oh, I'm really happy with that. That's really excellent. That's 180 handles on the week with just 2 trades. Let's see where price can go to here. But I mean, just something to consider. Just trading one mini contract in the last 2 days. One mini contract, $3,600. A lot of people make that in like 2 months. So I think it says a lot for the power of using one contract. But I want to see how high we can go here today. So here's the thing, is we could see reversal here at this 2.5 standard deviation, but if we close above it, we could go as high as 4 standard deviations, which would also align with taking this buy side liquidity. So I want to be watching how we interact with this 2.5 standard deviation going into 10 a.m. Approaching that 2.5, noticing that rejection from that 2.5 standard deviation. See, our next 4-hourly candle is at 2 p.m. So at 2 p.m. we're going to get a lot more insight into what will happen here. Going into 12. I mean, okay, just with this hourly candle, I mean, I think we're going higher. It's very possible we start reaching for this buy side here. Very possible. Going into 2 p.m. here. I mean, yeah, we've closed above the 2.5. We're going higher. It's a virtual certainty that we go higher here. Oh. Okay, market close. There we go. I thought we might see some crazy power hour action where we reach into this, but wow, that's really excellent. Really, really excellent. We drew out our area of interest, which was met. Low of the day. Boom, predicted that. That's really excellent. I'm really happy to be able to reflect and see that just calling the low of the day feels really good, because I'm interested in developing a better understanding of the daily profiles. And yeah, so we called low of the day. Targeted area of interest, I mean, low-hanging fruit, basically, for 100 handles. I mean, 100 handles, I mean, that's excellent. I mean, that's all I can say. Okay, well, wow, would you look at that? Really pleased with that. Back up to an equity high again. I mean, last couple days, we've had a lot of losses, but these last couple days have put us back into an equity high, which just goes to, it speaks about the power of waiting for certain days. I mean, I'm only taking, like 3 or 4 trades a week. And with 2 trades, I mean, $4,000. I mean, you can't scoff at that. I'm really, really pleased with being able to detect this as the low of the day and recognizing we'd have a Friday expansion using this 4-hour manipulation leg to project higher prices. But yeah, anyhow, that is going to conclude this session of backtesting, and thank you for your time. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next session. Have a wonderful day.